person of high strangeness. Early in the year 2003, I went to Loveland, Nevada, and accidentally I met these wonderful people, and that of course led into me eventually going to the museum. So I want to document that for you and take you right along. So I'm going to introduce you to some of the main players that I met originally in Loveland, Nevada, and then after that we'll just keep going to Missouri. So enjoy the visit with a person of high strangeness. This is the piece of the ship that we was talking about in our interview, and I like to remind you of the story about that strange-looking fish thing that was over my house the day before the earthquake. Well, it was the same color as this here, and I think I could have easily mistaken these robes here for fish scales. I think that's, you know, that's what that should look like. So cool.
So now the doctor.
Cobalt, titanium,
USO.
manganese, magnesium, chromium. Very, very rare, very expensive metals. Now this has the consistency of aluminum.
Like
waves.
Yeah, like
All this because I'm not a
it's just,
scientist.
you know, like that. That's what I.
Unfortunately, most scientists are very, very well educated.
Gravity.
Few of them have common sense. Common sense should tell us that with my education, it would be impossible for me to ever.
Sometimes when we go into crop circles and things, you know, my water stuff, so yeah.
Well, see, we had problems with the safe again this morning. Not as severe.
That's what he was telling me, yeah.
We had yesterday, they had to drill it. This time they had to come up with the electronics and open it, but it was giving codes. It was giving all these strange codes, because I went in to get it with the code, you know, with the combination, and it wouldn't open. It came up, you know, the error messages and stuff, and they did not have to drill it, but they had to get it open with their electronic key to open the safe second time.
They'd be glad when you leave.
I think so. It's not, well, they say it's not going in there tonight.
Yeah. And you know, that's what it reminds me of, whatever I saw before the earthquake. That's all I'm getting from that. It's the rippling.
Well, see, that's electromagnetic radiation. That's everything. There's a spectrum. Light is only just a little tiny part of it. Some of it's radio, some of it's X-rays, some of it's gamma rays. We don't know what frequency it might be. We've had people say it could be a transmitter. Up on the graph, the top right corner, the fellow said it could be a transmitter. We just don't know what it's transmitting. You know, what the receiver would be, what the frequency would be. If it's transmitting, you know, something that would cause that safe the electronics in the safe to mess up. You know.
Yeah, I perceive sound from it. That's all I got on that.
I read in that thing at Dugway, when I was at Dugway, when they showed me that, they showed me pictures of UFOs and said, now we want to be able to take down these UFOs to reverse engineer them. And I said, well, have you got any fragments from any of these UFOs? We'll show you one right now. They said, here is a UFO fragment that was given by the British intelligence from a Foo Fighter that was over Denmark. Foo Fighter was the predecessor name of UFO. During the World War II, we call them Foo Fighters. And this Foo Fighter, or this UFO, was flying, and the British planes were trying to chase up against it and try to shoot at them, and missed. Well, it went ahead, and the projectile was recovered by British intelligence. They gave it to our Army, and when I was at Dugway Proving Ground, they brought it out underground, out of the vault, the same where I read the Majestic report. And they're talking about reverse engineering. Here they're showing me an object about the size of that object. Looks very similar, and said, this is the Army object. It's made of aluminum, silica. At that time, silica and aluminum could not be put in an alloy and put into that kind of configuration.
What happened after that, the interview I did with Bob White did not turn out at all. And so when I got home, I made arrangements to reshoot Bob White, and but it didn't quite work out the way we had intended. So next thing you know, I'm in the, well, it wasn't really the middle of nowhere, because we drove to, we meaning Sean, Yanka, and myself, we drove to beautiful Missouri, dodged 14 tornadoes, and went to the Museum of the Unexplained. Because this is a travel format, I'm not going to give you the names on the bottom of the screen, so I'm going to try to tell you who all was there. You already met Bob Gibbons and Dr. Jordan. So the next friends that is going to be involved in this little visit here is Monica Wine-Smith, that you know so well, and Bob White, of course, and every once in a while you get a glimpse of Sean Yanka. That was our cameraman for the time. So without further delay, let's go to the Museum of the Unexplained in Reedville, Missouri. So enjoy. Well, Miss Monica arrived. Hello, how are you? From Texarkana, driving all night.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Cool.
I stopped and slept for a half hour.
Did you?
Yeah. Somewhere in Arkansas. It is so...
That is on the side of the building here, and it is a picture of the encounter that Bob White had.
76.
Visit with the person of High Strangeness. As you know, we've been on the road for several days, actually weeks, to be exact, outrunning storms and things. We finally made it, and the gentleman you're about to meet is Bob White. And how are you, Bob?
Just fine, and you?
Yeah, just great. Anyway, we landed in your museum, in your office, and you had just started to point us to the wall about some tests that we're going to detail a little later, but I want to show the list of the,
Yes.
so when you go right around here, and I'm happy to tell you we are smokers.
Yeah.
I always put that in there. To me, it's a discrimination issue, so my viewers
too.
know if they don't like it, they can close their eyes and listen.
Same here.
Yeah. So here, if you go right down the line, please. You are in the process of trying to get funding to conduct these tests that haven't been done yet, right?
All of these tests can be performed at SMS. We found out that SMS has
What is
it's a university in Springfield.
Springfield? Okay.
And Dr. Gibbons was a professor at SMS, and he knows that they have all the equipment to do these tests that have to be performed. And of course, we contacted them to do these tests, and they told us at first that they couldn't do it because these were all the equipment was donated to them by grants, and we told them we were a 501c3 and that we would like to contact the people that donated all these things and get permission from them to use this equipment. Then they wrote back and said, well, yes, they could do these tests, and it was permissible, but they would have to have a professor who would be willing to do it. And of course, they would have to be paid for doing it. We offered to do that, and as of yet, we haven't heard back from them. So why we're being stonewalled, I don't know. But the test that will prove conclusively whether or not this is extraterrestrial or terrestrial, is on the board there, and there's some tests on there that have to be performed that we just added. Like now, we're going to do, we have to do conductivity to find out if the object is superconduct. We have to do the melting point, which is being performed right now by Robert Golka at MIT. We have to do laser lights to see whether or not this thing is encoded, which it may be, very possibly be encoded.
It's a little windy here.
Yes, it is. Front door must be open. Now we have to get a percentage of the object elements, because there's a percentage after you total it all up. The percentages that we have, there's a small percentage of elements that are missing. We have to test the Qs to see how high they are. We have to check for neobidium. We have to check for spatial gravity test at full density. We have to check for crystal lattice structures. If there's more than 5, then we definitely know that it's extraterrestrial, because all we can produce on this planet, all the known crystal lattice structures in every element is 5. And if we get more than 5, it's definitely extraterrestrial, and I believe we'll get more than 5. We have to test the PN junction in this. And the most important thing that we have to do now is, when we were in Laughlin, Nevada for the UFO convention in February, we were staying at Harrah's, and the object was kept in a digital safe overnight in the suite of rooms that we had. And the next morning we could not open the safe by putting the code in, and the engineering could not open it, security couldn't open it, and finally they had to drill it open. So both the professors, both the scientists that were in my group at the time, Dr. Gibbons and Dr. Jordan, both felt that this was emitting electromagnetic rays. So when we came back, Dr. Gibbons has a friend in Springfield who is a dentist, and he voluntarily gave us some dental x-rays. Well, we placed the object on the table. We placed one dental x-ray under the object, and then, as you can see, Dr. Gibbons made this.
Just a minute here. A little interruption here.
All
So
right.
go right ahead.
When we got back to Reed Spring, Dr. Gibbons made this. And as you can see, there's little holes cut in all the way around. This was placed over the object, like that. Dental x-rays were placed here and removed at various intervals. There was one placed underneath the object itself. Now, dental x-rays should not be exposed. There's no way possible for dental x-rays to be exposed using just a piece of metal. We had 4 exposures.
Okay, I see exposures on film 1 and 2, which is from the side. That's the big part of the object, but from the side. And then, of course, the major exposure with the 2 black spots are from the film that was under the object for 48 hours. And that's what matches the object, the 2 lobes of the object. But our dentist, and we've had this checked by my dentist, his assistants, and then a regular radiographer, that say that these are all authentic x-rays. There's no darkroom accidents, there's no deliberate exposure or chemical exposure or anything made in the darkroom. But everyone agrees that there's some exposures on 1 and 2, and then the main exposure there that's under the object. Well, when we put the x-ray film over the object, we can see definitely 2 different exposures. And it's 2 lobes that match the 2 parts of the object, which we're looking at now as maybe 2 objects fusing together as they were molten coming down. But that's quite a revelation that these spots match exactly the 2 parts, the 2 major lobes of the object.
We have to pursue the electromagnetic emissions from this thing to see what it's doing. This is nothing that we have on this earth.
On this earth, yeah. Now, when I visited with you in Laughlin, and we're going to talk about that in detail, it let me know that it responded to sound. Did you get any further with that at all?
No, we haven't been able to do that.
We haven't been able to.
For one thing, we have had 5 analysis performed on this thing, 5 major laboratories: Los Alamos, New Mexico Tech, the National Institute for Discovery Science, University of Texas, and MIT. 5, and the University of La Jolla, California. We've had 6 tests performed on this with 6 different conclusions. None of them agree.
Yeah. Was somewhere somewhere, I don't know where I heard it, somewhere I heard that someone had looked into that, and where did I can't remember where I heard it, that it could also act as a transmitter. Is that pretty close to what I heard?
Well, one of the tests, yes, one of the tests that we can perform on it here that is very, very inexpensive, this isn't going to cost us anything, is to take an AM band, radio band, and tune it between stations. This was told to me by a very reputable scientist.
So I did hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he told us if we will tune the AM band between stations and hold the object next to the band, if we get static, then it is emitting some electromagnetic forces.
Yeah.
So
Now sometimes when I listen to the radio, I can hear weather like up to 300 miles away by static. Is that similar?
similar, yes. We have already done this.
Yeah.
Out in the laboratory, in the back room. And we have gotten static. So we know that it's emitting something. There's two things here that lead us to believe that it is emitting something because this is phenomenal. The X-rays, dental X-rays should not be exposed just from a piece of metal.
Yeah.
And these have been exposed.
Yeah.
There's other tests that have to be performed on this thing that unfortunately cost a lot of money going into a laboratory. And the main thing is finding a scientist who will perform these tests and stand behind what they find. I'm going to say this, and it may not go over too well, but most scientists are cowards.
Well, can you blame them, considering what you think you have there?
No, because they're afraid that if they find something and they stand behind what they find, they are going to lose their credibility.
Credibility, yeah. Well, but this has happened over and over in history, and then in the future, someone doubled back and realized the importance of them doing it anyway.
What I can't understand is why so many people are afraid of the truth. I contacted Skeptic magazine. I said, well, I'll take another route. I can't find a scientist who will stand behind what he finds. Maybe I can contact Skeptic magazine, since they have about 40 or 50 scientists on their staff, and say, here's what I say I have. How about taking a piece of it and analyzing it and prove I don't have it?
Good, yeah, that's really, yeah, that's pretty.
They won't do it.
They won't do it. Well, you know, we've kind of talked about, and here again, we'll go into that a little later here. Most people that have something or know the truth, first of all, we have no funding and nobody wants to listen because, oh, it's just Bob White.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
That's unfortunate, but it's true. I possibly could be the only person in the world that has had a UFO encounter and has a piece of it.
Yeah.
Did a sworn affidavit, passed a polygraph test by a 28-year police veteran, and the public doesn't know about it. Why? Because unfortunately the only way I have to reach the public is through the news media, mainstream news media, and they won't touch it.
But you know, you have a long journey ahead of you, so you're probably going to live a long time.
I've lived a long time.
Yeah. You told me you're 72?
72.
Yeah, so that's probably what.
And I don't
what's going
feel
to keep you living.
Listen, I don't feel a day over 68.
How cool. I can.
This is the introduction. Tell me when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So March 26, 1931 was not a good year for anyone to be born. But ready or not, I came into this world. It was right at the end of the Great Depression. I was the fifth child in a family of 6 children. Jackson County, Missouri, or Dogpatch, as we who lived there called it, was a very poor country. Very poor county, I'm sorry. No indoor plumbing, electricity, sidewalks, sewer system, or water. Most kids quit school at an early age and got jobs. I was no exception. My father passed away when I was just 12 years old, and we all had to get jobs to make ends meet. I grew up fast, looked and acted older than I was. At 16 years of age, I started playing guitar and singing in bars. Thus began a career in entertainment where I've been all my life. I wrote songs and performed in clubs all over the country. I've never had a hit song, but did make a very good living. I met Bill Chapman in Los Angeles, California, and we became the James Brothers. Bill and I were closer than real brothers, so when I refer to him as my brother, you will know where I am coming from. All the events in my life I thought were pretty exciting. However, nothing can even come close to the experience you are about to read. The obstacles I have had to overcome could not have been possible without the help of my good friend, John Hewley. John's my webmaster.
You know, the thing is here, I know people that start reading at page 1, you know, at the beginning, and since I wrote, it's so important that you read what the people say ahead of time or at the end, because that kind of gives you,
Yes.
you know, and I'm going to put that in here right now, because lots of times people chapter 1 and they disregard all that,
Yes.
and then they're missing out almost the most important part of the whole book, the before and the after, and a lot of people don't know that. Let me think. I'm brain dead. We've been on the road since the 21st. I'm mentioning that here just to remind people. And I've never done a show in a TCTV shirt. That's what they look like. And I'm going to turn around here for you. That's what we look like in the back. And there you go. And it's been very helpful, because we are very strange-looking people traveling through the Bible Belt in the Midlands. So the TCTV shirt came in very handy. It did.
I thought when I opened the museum here
Uh-huh.
that I was going to meet with a lot of opposition.
Yeah.
Not at all.
The girl that was with us, her name's Catlin, and when she left us, we had her summarize her impressions and things, and one of the things she said was interesting. She said when she started that, she thought that maybe every once in a while we would see a person, but it was 9 out of 10 that approached us with stories. And so she said it was real, she was overwhelmed with the people coming to us. So it's, you know, when people say, oh, I don't believe in this, and I want to say, who cares what you believe? It's not whether you believe it or not. That's how it is, you know.
Why is everything based on a belief system?
That's what it is. So who put the para in the normal? Who determines what's...
I had, first opened the place, I had a lot of people from religious organizations
2 minutes, okay.
that came in, and right away formed an opinion that it was satanic. And when I found out that I believe that I firmly believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
I believe in a supreme being. I believe in God. I used to be religious. I'm not religious anymore. I'm spiritual.
Spiritual, yeah.
I have a close relationship with the Father.
Creator,
And every day, my day begins and ends with God.
The convention that I
I'm at the convention, yes, over at the Wingo.
And,
This is,
tell me what you just said.
well, it's basically that when my thoughts of things, what could be and what is, it got into religion, but then you get into religion, or you find out you're arguing for 20 years about religion, and there's all so many religions that who is right and who's wrong. Then you get into the UFO stuff, the financials, and you created 10,000 more questions to ask, and you thought you were, you know, brain dead with the religion.
Brain dead is a good word,
Religion, yeah. And so then you get into this UFO stuff, and the more you get into it, you realize that you're coming to the same thing again, becoming brain dead, because you got so much stuff that you cannot analyze it all. And then you got to figure out what's true and what isn't true. And there's so much what I call circus into the UFO phenomenon, that they're giving you entertainment like wrestling or cartoons, whatever, and not giving you the true information. So that's kind of why I enjoy this gentleman here. Dr. Jill, I guess his name is, that's getting us some of the raw material.
I have never met any of these gentlemen, and so I thought it was a wonderful thing to look into. It's way past the 4th of July, however, some of the children in the neighborhood had firecrackers left over, so that's what you hear occasionally. Now, as you know, I mutilate names, and I keep calling it Reedville. It's not. It is Reed Springs, Missouri. The webpage that you can get to Reed Springs to, if you don't want to drive in person, would be www.heartevidence.com. www.heartevidence.com, or you can go to my webpage. I'm going to give you the phone number just in case you'd like to call there. And to make sure I have it right, you see here on my scratch paper, it is 417-272-9620. 417-272-9620. And so come along and let's go down the hallways, and then I'll probably see you a little later.
There's some castings of Bigfoot footprints. The interesting thing about these, as you'll see in this picture right up here, is they can find dermal ridges that are very similar to fingerprints.
Of the Code of Federal Regulations implemented on July 16th, 1969 makes it illegal for U.S. citizens to have any contact with extraterrestrials or their vehicles. That does not include me because I'm a registered alien. I met them actually, and I can't remember their name. Isn't that horrible?
Olivia and Natanya.
Yeah. And they gave me an idea what I can do with all my scratchy footage. I'll put it behind you.
There you go.
Okay.
51. So I went there. My vice president and I. And we got this long road here, grapple. Just picture of the road. And it's all like sand, all the way out there, all the way back. There's miles to go back in there till you reach the signs that said deadly forces authorized beyond this point. We stopped there, of course. Well, on the way back, Vice President was with me, and he's a big fella, and he drinks a lot of pop, a lot of soda, so he had to relieve himself. So we stopped in the middle of this road at this particular spot. I got out at one side, he got out on the driver's side, and I looked down at my feet, and there's this rock. Look at that rock closely.
Looks like a brain.
Look at it. You can see prints in it like tire tracks.
Made of lugs, like lugs, or tracks, yeah.
And it was the only rock out there.
In the middle of the road.
And he looked all over trying to find another rock, all the way back to the highway, and could not find another one.
Now, Monica,
What?
we had a rock experience. We're going to put that in there. Hang on, let me turn my step back a little bit. Thank you. We went to a weird site.
We were in New Mexico at that lava, the park where the lava is, and we went into one of the parks and we pulled up to stop and read a sign, and she got out of the car and there was nothing around. We did some walking, she did some filming, and she came back and there was a rock laying there for her. It wasn't there, and it's a good-sized piece of lava.
Yeah.
So, needless to say,
Yes.
we ignored the signs.
Yes.
And actually, it was a special day because President Bush had said
Well,
we
people
didn't
could go
have
in
to
free.
pay because it was some kind of Bush day they had, and we didn't have to pay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was closed.
Ah,
Even though, and we weren't, and there was signs saying go back. So,
Yeah.
But there was your rock.
Well, yeah.
They'd just appear out of.
Dr. Jordan gave us these
Okay.
displays.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Jordan is going to be a guest either in part 1 or part 2 of the story. We haven't decided yet. And he's a gentleman. We spent, him and his lovely wife, we spent the night with. And Okay.
And they live in a different town, right?
Oh, yeah, they live
Way further east.
way far out of here. And this is the Area 51.
Yes, and look at that.
Actually,
Yes.
I've used that as an opening shot.
These are Russian.
This is one from the Russian
a Russian satellite.
And I've used that on an opening shot on my show a while back. Wow. I mean, not that particular one, but one similar to it.
Well, see, Dr. Jordan has worked there. He knows all these buildings and the underground facilities. You know, that he pointed a lot of these out to us.
Yeah, he gave us some goodies we can share. So that's going to be on an upcoming show. So, let's see. Let's see here. And then, here's some of the astronauts.
No, this is the thing that happened over the White House, where Captain Mantell was killed chasing a UFO.
I don't know that story either.
Oh, you didn't know that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Goodman Field, Kentucky. They spotted UFOs, unidentified flying objects, over the White House.
I had heard that.
So they scrambled the jets, fully armed, not jets, but the prop jobs. And they followed, they went out, and by the time they got there, the UFOs were leaving, and they started, they were gone, so they went back to Goodman, and they landed. Well, as soon as they landed, the UFOs came back over the White House. So they were scrambled again. They came out after them, and this time they started chasing them. Well, all of them turned back except Captain Thomas Mantell. They all turned back except him, and he said, I'm in pursuit of one. Well, they think that he went up so far after this one that he ran out of oxygen. He crashed, killed him, became the first fatality from a UFO.
I did not know anyone was killed. So,
Yep.
oh, thank you for sharing
Well, there was
that.
another one that was killed that you don't hear about. A very famous son of a very famous person. This happened in Palo Verdes, California. I was there playing music at the time, and I met these people that were ex-employees of NASA. And they asked me, and I wasn't even into this at that time, and they asked me if I'd heard about it, and we were all sitting around swapping stories. And I said, no, I hadn't heard about it. Well, they scrambled the jets from the Air Force field, Edwards, to chase UFOs. And the story is that the son of Dean Martin was chasing one of the UFOs. It went down into a mountain and then went straight up, and Dean Martin's son went right into the mountain and killed him.
Oh, my.
Palos Verdes.
Oh, my. Okay.
Kander owns property there. He inherited it. We're going to go out there and take a look at it someday.
Yeah, we went through there last year.
I got a picture coming on here, it looks like.
One of the pins came out.
On the x-ray, this is the x-ray here. These are the two exposures we got
Yeah, we have copies
from the
of
dental
that.
x-rays.
Hang on a minute. Sugar Cabra.
That's one that was supposedly hit by a VFO.
Yeah, now, so some people say that these are genetically engineered things. You have an opinion on that?
No.
No. Okay, that was easy.
I have an opinion on almost everything else, but not on that.
Yeah. Now, we're talking about the presidents up here. I'm going to swing it around a little bit.
Sure.
Hang on.
So he had a UFO experience.
Yeah, he did. And my friend Martha Barnhill, the retired diplomat, is a good friend of President Carter's, and that's as close as to believing things was as she ever came.
My opinion on that now is that Jimmy Carter did less for our country than anybody, but yet he was the most honest president we had.
But he didn't hurt nobody either.
No, but he was the most honest president we've ever had. The man was honest.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
And all the rest of them, you know, are typical politicians. You can always tell when a politician starts to lie,
What happened?
when his lips start to move.
Oh, Mike, hey, Tom Stahl, are you not glad that you didn't win that election? Had to put that in there. Now, up here I have something, the one over here.
Mm-hmm.
Would you tell me what that is, please?
Over
Yeah,
here,
that one.
Dr. Gibbons should explain these because I'm not sure what they are.
Okay, now Dr. Gibbons isn't here, he had to
He'll
go
be here.
somewhere. And
be
because we went, oh my God, we went around the world
I have to
before we
show
ever
you.
got here.
I have to show you this. This is one of the displays from Gilbert Jordan. This
Oh,
is a-
meteorite,
That's a tektite.
tektite.
Now, what's unusual about this is when you hold it up to the light.
Okay, he's going real fast here. Oh my. Let's see if I bring that into you. Oh my God, it changes.
Oh, yes.
I can see the viewfinder. Oh my goodness, it's talking to you. I have a tektite. It doesn't do that.
No,
Oh my.
but this one does.
Huh. Interesting.
This is some great stuff.
From Czechoslovakia and Vietnam.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna zero in on those. And then we have dinosaur bones from Utah. That's not surprising since Grand Junction, the town I can't ever get out of, is part of all of this. The reason they look familiar to me, they were on display in Laughlin, no?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually on the interview with Dr. Jordan. That's where we've seen those before. And then this is the object that we had discussed on a previous interview back in the office from Louisiana. So, okay, I got that. Now this is a picture of the memo. I don't remember mentioning it to you, but we had, this is the memo that Jim Clarkson made reference to. They crumbled it all up, and then when they deciphered it, and then it's the actual memo that was given after the race by Walter Holt in Boswell, New Mexico.
Bowling alley, laundromat,
And then
bar, restaurants.
here's a photograph of
Just everything right there. But we got all the
Marcel.
heavyweights coming in. And we have our, we're gonna do our convention in November. We got Dr. Golka, who took over from Tesla and has recreated ball lightning.
This is the memo.
And using this gonna be two Jim locomotives. Clarkson made
Ooh, they crumbled it all up.
Now, when is this going to be?
November.
And where?
Kimberley City, it's about 13 miles up the road. Big motel, convention center, bowling alley, laundromat, bar, restaurants, about 4 restaurants, just everything right there.
Okay.
But we got all the heavyweights coming in.
Okay.
We got Stanton Friedman coming. We got Peter Davenport coming. We got Darrell Sims coming. We got Robert Golka. Got Dr. Jordan, Dr. Gibbons.
You have to come back
Myself.
in November.
And you know, it's a 4-day convention. You know
Uh-huh.
what we're charging? $50.
$50 for every, and they'll be able to go
All
into
4
everything.
days.
Wow, Rusty would probably enjoy that.
So that.
And the
That would
reason
be
I can
nice.
do that is because all of these people that I'm talking about are experts in the field. Stanton Friedman, they all believe in me and they believe in what I have and they believe I'm telling the truth and they're doing it free.
Oh,
They're waiving their fee.
how wonderful.
I just have to pay their expenses.
From Iowa, from 1981.
I'm very fortunate.
Of the gift shop, so anything you don't find in Roswell, be sure to buy it here. Prices are very reasonable, goes for good cause. So even if you're not interested in any of these things, I'm sure a contribution would be highly appreciate it.
Amen.
Amen. Okay. Just to remind you, all people that have something to say have no money. So here we are again, all of us. It's a pickled alien in a jar, which of course is for
I was
tourists.
having such fun holding.
This is a javelina.
A what?
Javelina?
I don't know what that is.
Javelina is like a wild boar.
Oh.
They're native to Arizona and
Oh.
Nevada. And Texas. But the thing that makes this unique is I was visiting my cousin and his wife in Prescott, Arizona. And the gentleman next door was like a hermit. Never talked to anyone. And my cousin had lived next door to him for 3 or 4 years. Didn't even know his name. And I was sitting on the front porch one afternoon, strumming a guitar, and here he come. Lo and behold, we became friends. He said, I was going to donate this to the Indian Museum downtown. But he said, I see that you have a museum in Missouri. He said, I'm going to give it to you. It's 500 years old.
Oh my.
And look at the shape it's in. And the reason that makes this unique is, according to him, that this came from a reservation from a group of Indians that completely disappeared off the face of the earth 500 years ago.
Oh my.
Pardon?
Anasazi?
I'm not sure what tribe. He told me, but I have forgotten. He's supposed to send me all the data on it. But
Wow. Wild boar, I can relate to that. I just told someone the other day, when I was very young, I was chased up a tree by a wild boar.
I was too.
And they have a smell you never forget. You just
These are
know it.
worse even. The javelina,
Uh-huh.
you could smell them from a mile away.
But you can't describe it.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, and you just say, up the tree you go. Instinct tells you that.
I had a group of them tree me when I was a kid.
Oh my.
Yeah, up a tree, and I stayed there for about 4 hours, and they were down below. They wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
And my dog came up and chased them away. Well, they got after the dog, and he ran, and they couldn't catch him. I get down and got away.
Okay. Now this is Dr. Gibbons.
Yes, he was a nuclear physicist with NASA.
Mm-hmm.
He was also a professor at SMS. He also founded the Springfield Historical Society, past president 3 years. He also founded Bonningbrook, Rose O'Neill Cupidol's Foundation. And we're very, very fortunate to have him on our team. Very knowledgeable man, very honest man, ethical, high moral value, and that's what we want.
Now we're going to get to meet him later. He's going to talk
Yeah.
about the spook lights.
Well, he recreated the spook light.
Yeah. Now, I met him in Laughlin, but I thought he was just a bystander.
No.
And so I asked him a couple of things, and then we went off to chase Dr. Jordan.
We had a very, we have a very impressive staff here, the board of directors. Ted Phillips, he's our research director, he was an associate with J. Allen Hynek for years until J. Allen died, and then he took over from there on trace landing cases. He has more trace landing cases than anyone in the world. Then we have Dr. Jordan, that just came aboard, and we have Dr. Gibbons, and we have Larry Sikander. And
Yeah, good. I think it's what am I walking away with from here?
Driving.
Yeah, don't make me walk. I'll be here forever if
Yeah,
I have to
driving
walk
away.
anywhere. Some peace of mind. And
Really?
Yeah, a real big peace of mind. It's been, almost a year since I've seen you. So many changes in both our lives have occurred. That I needed that physical
Contact.
to verify and to well, whenever we get together, I get settled. Something gets in me, gets settled. It's like you come in prior to a change I'm going to go through, or right as I've just gone through one, and I just went through one now. So it's like you come in and I get settled. So I'm going away very peaceful.
Good. And what are you going away with?
New ideas.
Oh, let's hear it.
Well, just ideas on documentation and what I want to do. And also, like, well, I talked to Dr. Jordan for a long time, and he gave me a lot of information. And so, mainly what I'm walking away with
Talk loud.
is a larger understanding of humans.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Because we've been interviewing these people for the documentary and also for your show.
Wow.
And when we document them, we're asking them questions, specific scientific questions, and or questions that are directly related to the subject that we're pursuing. That's a really vague description. Anyways, as we spend time with them, though, because we're spending time with them outside of the interview,
Yeah, as people.
we get to see them as people. And part of the paranormal thing, we're asking what is abnormal about all this. And the paranormal is such a normal part of these people's lives.
That's a good thought. Yeah.
Yes.
But then also, we get to see how their personal lives interact with the pursuit of the paranormal.
Yeah, well, except.
And how it affects their lives, or if it does at all.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was thinking about, because like, I don't know if any of them consider, well, maybe Dr. Gibbons, that the spook lights are somewhat paranormal. But then you take Bob White, for instance. I don't know if he perceives it as anything. It's like you said, this is what happened to me. Here you got it. What can I tell you? It's just,
Yeah, he just perceives it as something that's there, it's direct, it's real. He just
yeah,
perceives it
and
as
you,
real.
and you pick it up and you hold it, and how can you argue with that?
To me, the paranormal is normal, and this everyday stuff that is normal
people
is
crap, I
para
call
to
it.
me.
Yeah.
People stuff is
It's
paranormal.
strange. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense
No,
to
it
me.
doesn't. And people I hang around with have that same sense. They don't even, some of them don't even know why they're on this particular planet, and this particular planet feels so foreign to them. They're from elsewhere. They're visitors here. It's like they got stuck here, and what did they do to deserve to be stuck here? And they take it as everyday stuff when they get into psychic abilities or ufology, strange happenings, levitation, mind control, spoon bending.
Oh, we haven't been
that's
spoons
all
in a
that
long
stuff
time.
is. That stuff is normal. It's
It is, yeah.
yeah. So to have you be on a quest for the paranormal,
Yeah.
of the paranormal, talking to these, it seems kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah. But you know now we did a clip with Catlin before she left us, and one of the things she said was that she was surprised that when she started out, I think we were her way of getting from point A to point B. So she just kind of fell into that. And so I think she thought that maybe, and correct me if I'm telling this wrong, she thought that every once in a while we would find a person, and the majority would say, well, you know, get away from me. But then what she found, it was the other way around.
Well, she had expected that we'd run into crazy stuff because she'd read your book.
Uh-huh.
And she just didn't think that the people that we met were going to be so open
Receptive, yeah.
and so receptive, and that there would be so many people that we talked to that were
Yeah.
interested.
And most of them approached us some kind of way. Yeah. So I'm sorry she missed this part, but you know, we all at different stages of our evolution, and
She had to go home and play frisbee and rip her toe off.
yeah. Now, wasn't that fun? I am just pooped. So a friend of mine, Mike, brought this for me, and so I thought I better hang on to this because I am really pooped. I hope you had a really good time. Come see me next week, and when we take you on another journey with the visit of the person of High Strangeness. So see you next week. Bye.
When God created heaven, He was dreaming Tennessee.
I've seen the big sky of Montana, California by the sea. But when God created heaven, He was dreaming Tennessee. Your rich green velvet carpet travels far as the eye can see. Your rolling hills and valleys, home of the brave and free. Your bronze-hued Smoky Mountains, the Mississippi rolling on out to sea. When God created heaven, He was dreaming Tennessee. Your southern pride, your graciousness still is there to see. When the sun first rose on Dixie, it bowed to Tennessee. The stars and stripes forever hold a state so dear to me. When God created heaven, He was dreaming Tennessee. Southern pride, your graciousness still is there to see. When the sun first rose on Dixie, it bowed to Tennessee. The stars and stripes forever hold a state so dear to me. When God created heaven, He was dreaming Tennessee.